I'm going to tell you why the Chicago Bulls made the right, not sexy, but the right decision by signing Jevon Carter and some of the other offseason moves that we've seen the Bulls make to this point. We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page, man. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. I know like 50% of y'all are not subscribed. Hit the button right now, man. It really does help the channel. We really do appreciate the support, and we love having a bigger Bulls and Bears and White Sox and Cubs and all of that community here on the Windy City Breeze. But the reason that we're here, I'm going to tell you why the Chicago Bulls have made the right decision by going out and getting a guy like Jevon Carter, adding him to this team. It starts here, and some of the other offseason moves, right? The Bulls are making a lot of good moves. They're making a lot of the right moves. They're not making the sexy moves. They're not making the splash moves. And maybe we will see a move like that come, but that is not the move that we're seeing right now. But I'm here to tell you why a guy like Jevon Carter is the right decision here. In fact, I would say he might even be the perfect Lonzo Ball replacement in the best case scenario that you have right now. A lot of the names that people were throwing out there for point guards that we should have signed. Okay, let's go out and get a D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell's an offensive guy. He wants to shoot the ball a lot. Can he facilitate? Yes, he can, but it's not the thing that you're really looking for him to come out there and do. Defensively, he's basically a liability. And I don't think that we needed more scoring on this team. I do like the three-point aspect of it, but D'Angelo Russell, a very inconsistent player in that aspect. Russell Westbrook, to me, probably was the best name, especially seeing the money that he got signed for. Would have loved to see a reunion with him and Billy Donovan, but I think based on what we saw from the contract that he signed out in with the Clippers, that tells me he wanted to be in LA. That's what it says to me, right? It's like he didn't want to leave LA. He didn't want to come to Chicago. He didn't want to go to any other city. He wanted to be with LA because there's a point guard there already. You know he's going to be able to come off of the bench. That team's going to be able to win a lot of games, blah, blah, blah. He likes his role there. I think he's just trying to ride this thing off in the sunset on a winning team and doesn't want to keep moving around. Fine. I can deal with that. Why is Jevon Carter the right move for this? We asked going into the offseason, get us a better version of what we saw at the end of the season with Patrick Beverley and come out of this free agency with a point guard. You've done that. You got a still defensively scrappy guy, very good guy in Jevon Carter. Is he going to be able to guard centers and power forward? No, he's not. Like, I'm not sitting here and telling you that. But guess what? Neither could Pat Bev, even though he would try his dangdest. And guess what? Jevon Carter is going to pretty much do the same. Another scrappy guy from Chicago. Okay, kumbaya. But here's the thing that stands out to me. You are not trying to get the best talent to me at the point guard position. You're trying to find a guy that accentuates the talent that you already have on your team. Why do I say that? You look at the two guys the Chicago Bulls had at point guard. The two times that the Bulls had point guard play in Chicago, Patrick Beverley and Lonzo Ball. Those are the two times that we speak about the most, right? The Aldasumu time, very up and down in that. He was a rookie and then second year regress. Kobe White being in there, that wasn't a good thing for us in that sense, right? Now we're looking at the two times that we say we had a legit point guard. With Patrick Beverley, the Bulls went 13-9. With Lonzo Ball, the Chicago Bulls went 22 and 13. 22 and 13. I'm putting those two times together. That leaves you with a 61% win percentage. The two times that you had point guard play, you've seen Zach LaVine be a 25 plus per game scorer. You've seen the best version of Zach LaVine, who's your highest paid player on the team right now. The two times that you had point guard play, you saw order and actual decorum in the offense. You saw an offense that looked like it had some sense of normality, that looked like it could be a modern day offense. the 2 times that you had point guard play. You've brought that back to me with Jevon Carter. Now, is Jevon Carter going to be the end-all, be-all piece? No, but guess what? Pat Bev wasn't either. Lonzo Ball was because of his defensive ability, of course, because of his vision and things like that. He had added the shot, but Jevon Carter comes in shooting 40+% from the field. He's also improved every time he's gotten more minutes, right? So he's going to get more minutes here in this Bulls rotation. And at the end of the day, he's $6 million. He's not killing you on the cap. We know what the Chicago issues are with point guards here. I would think that this is the perfect move, the perfect decision for the Chicago Bulls to go out there and make everybody else better, to make the rest of this team more cohesive. It's not about what the point guard can do. That's not why we were looking for a point guard. It's about what the point guard does for the rest of it. It's very similar to what the Bears would be, right? And this is a theme with Chicago in general. I'll get a guy who is in a good situation here, and I won't replicate that good situation. Tremaine Edmonds comes here. We don't have a defensive line that we feel is going to be great or that we're confident is going to be great right off the bat, right? Guess what? Tremaine Edmonds isn't going to be the same player. That's just a fact. He's not going to be the same player. So he's still going to be really good. Hopefully he's going to be able to, transcend, and maybe the offensive line is going to be good at the end of the day, but he's not going to be what he was in Buffalo right away. We're sitting here looking at Zach LaVine like Zach LaVine is supposed to be LeBron James, where, hey, you're a basketball player. You should be able to play every position on the floor at once. That's not how every player works. It's just not. And so for me, allowing Zach LaVine to be able to play the 2-guard position by bringing in a Jevon Carter, having Kobe White run the point guard duty some, maybe Ayo Dosunmu still does come back to this team. We'll see, right? Like, those are the things to me that get me excited about this, and why I say Jevon Carter is the perfect replacement for Lonzo Ball. 1, because he doesn't cost that much. 2, because he replicates allowing Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic to be in the right spot. And 3, because just like when Vooch was cooking, when this Bulls team was cooking at its best, because there was a point guard in the corner who, when the ball went down low to Vooch, he could kick it out to, who could knock down a 3-ball at a 40+% clip. That has returned to Chicago. I'm not sitting here selling you that Jevon Carter is going to be the next Hall of Fame point guard for the Chicago Bulls. I'm not telling you he's Derrick Rose. But I'm telling you that he is the right move, not the sexy move. And the right move usually ends up panning out in the long run. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. There's a lot of right moves that the Bulls have made as well, right? Like, to me, the fact that they finally have made the decision to go with the disabled player exception for Lonzo Ball, I think that we'll see that cleared up probably some point this week, maybe by Wednesday. It doesn't take long. Usually, I know in the Klay Thompson situation, it basically took 5 days, right? We've seen enough from Lonzo's career that I think that the NBA is probably going to move pretty quick on this. The question mark will be, what will the Bulls be able to add? But the fact that they're willing to take this step already, because to me, this is a step that I didn't expect to see coming, because if the Bulls were to go into or dip into this money, that would then put the Bulls into the luxury tax. From what we'd heard, the Bulls only were going into the luxury tax if there was a 4 to 6 seed team. We heard that from AK talking about what Michael Reinsdorf had told him. So now the question mark is, okay, if we now are going to make this trade, or we're going to get this disabled player exception, are we then going to actually utilize this? Are we going to trade for somebody on that roster spot, or is this just money to have lying around in case the Bulls do make a run mid-season? And that could be a case here, right? Like, I don't believe that there's a time limit on this money. Now, I know you have to spend it all on one player. Maybe I'll get some clarification from Hayes on that, but I don't believe that there's a time limit on this money. It opens up this money pretty much throughout the season. This could be money where if the Bulls are a 4 through 6 seed, they can add on to that later. Again, like I said, I got to get clarification on that, but I believe that's how this works. So this could be something that lingers on into the middle of the season, where the Bulls are saying, okay, now we're a 4 to 6 seed. Let's go into the luxury tax. Let's make this happen. Let's try to get better in this situation. Don't be surprised if we see that you have to trade for a player on the last year of his deal. I'm intrigued by this, because this could be a wait and see type of thing on some of these players, right, that are on the last end of their deal, because there's always that one player that's like, hey man, I don't want to be here. Like, I thought this was going to be fun, but y'all actually suck and I hate it here. That always happens in the NBA. So don't be surprised by that. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments below. I'm excited that the Bulls have had a willingness to open up this money, because it tells me that they realize the direction that they're in, and they realize the direction that they have to go. And I think that the fact that they're trying to go this direction, that they're going to start moving in this direction, that they're going to start looking to a time where Lonzo Ball is no longer going to be a part of the team is something good to hear. And I told you guys that Lonzo Ball money over the Bulls' head is the thing that has held them back, right? You want to make moves, you want to do these things, but I genuinely believe they thought Lonzo Ball was going to be able to come back last season. I genuinely believe that because they put him on the calendar release and they were still talking about him as a part of the team, and they were still talking about him as, well, we'll see when Lonzo's going to be able to come back. We're seeing him progress. We're seeing him run. We're seeing him do these things, right? Like, I genuinely believe they thought they were going to come back. And to me, that's their biggest mistake, not having a contingency plan for Lonzo if he didn't come back. Their contingency plan was Io, and that one didn't pan out. So at the end of the day, the biggest thing for me with all of this is that the Bulls, again, making the right decision, not the sexy decision, even getting into the draft, getting a guy like Julian Phillips to replace a DJJ. I think that long term, that's going to be a very good move. Second round pick, end of the bench guy, end of the draft guy. You're not giving up anything. You're not losing anything. You gave up some second round picks. Okay, you can buy second round picks for $200,000. We've seen the Chicago Bulls do it. $2 million. I mean, we've seen the Chicago Bulls do this all the time when selling these picks, right, to get back under the cap. So I'm not surprised by that in the slightest. And I think that going out and getting a guy like Adama Sanago, who is he going to be a superstar at this next level? Probably not. Can he be a solid rotational piece if you develop him? Absolutely. The other thing that is not talked about enough, going out and getting a shooting coach, going out and getting a guy that's going to be able to change player development in Chicago. That's what we need. We need to develop players, and AK realizes that these are the small things that a lot of times just don't get talked about, get pushed over because, oh, it's not a player. It's not the coach. It's not AK. But those small things are the things that sometimes take teams from here to here. They're the things that, okay, this is what you need to focus on. This is how you need to attack it. This is how you need to develop it. This is how you need to, all of that, man. So for me, I love some of the moves that the Bulls have made not because they're the sexy move, not because of the big flashy move. It's not going to trade for Dame, although that could still be on the table. We'll talk about that on another video. It's not going out and trying to acquire the biggest name free agent that is out there right now. It's a move that makes the talent on your team better. And that's what I want to see the Bulls do. I know continuity is a taboo word here in Chicago all of a sudden, but at the end of the day, it's what you want. Well, not with these players. How do you know until one of those players takes a step? Well, you're just guessing. That's what 90% of this is. Until you find a superstar. That's what 90% of this is, right? Like, there's a lot of bad moves that have been made by teams that are hidden by the fact that, like, oh, they have LeBron, right? Like, we don't look back on those LeBron seasons where he made the finals, but like they traded away 90% of the team after the trade deadline because they just we're like, this team can't win. Let's get rid of half of these pieces. You know what I mean? Like, we don't talk about the D-Wade, Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, Cleveland Cavaliers. You know what I mean? Like, they made the finals. Oh, amazing. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those joints for me. But hey, I do want to know how you guys feel, man, at the end of the day. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. We got a ton of content dropping on the channel today, so stay tuned with us all day, man. Appreciate you guys for showing love. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bulls content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. I'll stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.